This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Like we joined via Zoom by Chris Kongo. Chris, we've seen each other in Newcastle briefly. Didn't have time to catch up. We're doing it now. How you been, mate?
All good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Let's go back to it then. Sky Sports had you up in Newcastle for the show last week. You were up there, you're watching Florian Marku. They brought you on the broadcast afterwards. So let's just go back to it. What do you make of Florian Marku's win over Chris Jenkins?
It was a good win. Well, the first couple rounds, I had him down. He was losing. I saw a few looks on people's faces. They were quite worried. And I just think he was getting outboxed at the time. He was getting out jabbed. And it's crazy because he was getting hit with the same repetitive jab, and it was the same predictable jab. And I thought, what is going on here? But at the end of the day, he managed to knock out Chris Jenkins, and he got the win.
Found it interesting that we saw your reaction to his performance when you were up there, and you were almost laughing, saying, you can't be doing that with me. If it had been you in the ring, it almost seemed with your confidence, you felt like you would have stood him on his head that night.
Oh, 100%. He knows that. I would have stood him on his head. That would have been probably the easiest work I ever would have got. If he boxed like that against me, listen, I'm telling you, he wouldn't even land a punch. You know what I mean? And I probably would have had him on the back foot. Same like I said, Chris Jenkins, old. I said he's an old dog. I did say on the broadcast on Sky, I said Marku will knock him out. He's an old dog. His time is done. But the first couple rounds, I couldn't believe it. He's throwing the same predictable jab, same timing, same everything, and he couldn't even defend that. So against me, he'll have trouble, and he's calling out people like Amir Khan. What are you doing? Amir Khan is another old dog that he could probably knock out too. So there's young, hungry fighters like myself, Echo Essuman, but you want to go and just boost yourself up and start fighting people like Amir Khan. It don't work like that.
That's where I was going with it. Sky had you up, especially to come watch this fight. They had you on after the fight to talk about it. They seem keen to make the fight. Yeah. Boxers seem keen for that fight. You do. But when I spoke to Florian and he spoke to the media afterwards, he said he's not too interested in fighting you right now. You mentioned the Amir Khan fight. That's what he's looking at. Why do you think he's choosing to go that kind of avenue instead of making a fight that could be made with yourself?
Because he doesn't want legacy. He wants to chase the money. That's why. He doesn't want to take a loss on his record and make him have to start all over again. But sometimes it's a process and you have to do that. So he thinks he's that good. If he was that good and he was confident within himself, then he will come and make the fight happen. Because he is no higher than British level at the moment. He hasn't fought anyone of a decent caliber. The only person was Chris Jenkins, and like I said, he's an old dog. So you're fighting these old guys. I'm still young and fresh, and I'm hungry, even more hungry than ever. So I'm here.
Just on a personal level for you, we kind of talked about it briefly before we started the recording, but in your career, sometimes there's been a bit of a patient wait for the big opportunities, probably a bit frustrating at times. We saw you get back to winning ways under Sky and, them having you on the broadcast and giving you this push as well. It must be nice for you personally knowing that you've got that back in now. They're really getting behind you.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. This is all I've ever wanted in my career, just to be active and stay fighting, And inactivity is not something that I thought would come as a professional, but it did come and I had to deal with it. And the way I dealt with it was staying in the gym and was to continue working. And that's why even after these long layoffs, I'm still able to perform at least like half decent. I think my last fight was just a warm-up. There was still a lot of ring rust there. But I think my next fight, it will be bigger and it will be better. And you will see a much sharper, more spiteful, and a very slick Chris Kongo for sure.
So I was going to ask you about, you were back to winning ways recently over the 8 rounds. How did you kind of reflect in it? And also, how quick were you back in the gym afterwards?
I was back in the gym after a week. So I was back in the gym after a week, reflected on it. People say it was the fight of the night. I think for me, it was a decent performance, and I still got a lot to work on. You know, a few mistakes that you can pick out that I did do, but that's good. I needed that, and like I said before, I needed the rounds. So now I got something to work on in the gym, which is even better for me. I'm only going to get better.
Mm. It's exciting times for the welterweight division. Conor Benn's back next weekend fighting Chris Van Heerden. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that fight. How do you see that fight going, Chris?
Van Heerden, he's an old dog. Yeah, Conor Benn will knock him out. He'll knock him out. It will probably be the same as his last fight. Who did he fight again? This guy. He fought Algeria. He knocked him out. All of Conor Benn's fights, I've always predicted them right, because I know these guys, they're old dogs. You know, they're good for experience, but they're old guys, man. He should be doing this. You know, started with Samuel Vargas. I said with the Vargas fight, I said he's already been beat up by all the top champions. You know, so Conor Benn is due to knock him out. I said within 3 rounds, he done it in the first round. So I wasn't far off. Same again when he boxed Algeria. I said, Algeria's old, man. Conor Benn knocks that guy out. I said 4 to 6. I think he knocked him out in the 3rd round. So all my predictions have been right. And I'm going to say again, this Van Heerden guy, he's an old dog, man. Conor Benn knocked that out, 100%.
What do you think it's going to take for all these welterweights that we talk about in Britain to start facing each other eventually?
Well, I don't know what it's going to take. Sometimes I even think, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think some welterweights will win, go up to fight world titles. Then maybe when one or two of us has a world title, then maybe that would happen. But now, not everyone wants to fight each other. People want to fight guys way low, too low at the bottom, or people want to move on and go to world honors. And I don't blame them, but at the same time, it's always good to have the good British domestic fights, man. You know, that's what builds legacy as well in this country. You know, if you want to be known as a good British fighter, sometimes you have to fight each other. And I've always been up for it, but some people ain't up for it. So I know eventually I can't just be calling out everyone's names. I know eventually I'm going to move on myself too, but I'm ready to go now.
Last one I wanted to get your thoughts on before I let you go, Chris, is, as I said, exciting times for the welterweight division. 3 belts on the line very soon. Errol Spence. We've got Spence-Ugas coming up. Who wins and how?
Spence been out for a while. Ugas, he's very good with southpaws, man. If I ever fight a southpaw, I'll definitely be studying a lot of Ugas, because he's done very well with southpaws. But I think Spence, he's just a beast, man, and he's a different breed. So I'm going for Spence. But I think it's going to be a points decision. I don't think it's going to be as easy as what people think it is. A lot of people are saying Spence is going to knock him out, but I don't know. I don't see that, you know. And I think Ugas is very tough. He's still hungry, and it's a process. It took him 10 years to win a world title. So he's there now, and I'm sure. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be an easy ride for Spence.
Errol's kind of been more receptive and open when talking about the Terence Crawford fight in the last couple of months than he has previously. We know Terence is a promotional free agent now. Errol Spencer said there's no reason why, if he wins, an undisputed fight maybe can't happen. Who is the best welterweight in the world, Spence or Crawford?
Or Chris Kongo, I think. Forgot. But out of them two, if you're taking me out of it, for me, I'm going for Crawford. I think he's just a better man. He's just so versatile. It's unreal, you know. He's a special fighter.
All right, Chris. Well, appreciate you taking a bit of time out to speak to me this evening. I'm sure I'll catch you very soon. And yeah, thanks as always.
No worries. Cheers.
All right, Chris. Have a good one, mate. All right.
You too, brother. Like.